Greetings to everybody. So now to continue the 7th chapter, the chapter on diligence from Bodhicharyavatara. We are on stanza number 37. Here, it's talking about, what have I done in this life that is really, I can be proud of myself. Doggy jamde manchuchi, gatun chimbu, de masin, tela shawa majiton, ulbu samba zo masi. Injila minji majiton, nyanta de masin na do. Maingal de sungutu dungamba huseper says. So this, in English, these two stanzas, 37, offerings to the Buddhas I've never made. No feasts were ever held through my donations. No works have I accomplished for the teachings. The wishes of the poor I left unsatisfied. So, if I look back into my life and then see, what I have really done, that's good, that's helpful, that's useful, that's beneficial. And then he says, in offerings to Buddhas I've never made. I didn't make any offerings to the Buddhas. Why should I make offerings to the Buddhas? Two reasons. Why? Because Buddhas have learned how to transform themselves from all the sufferings and pain and problems. They have ended their own suffering, and so therefore they are the wisest, and therefore they can teach. They can teach others. They can guide others, and they do that out of compassion, because they are not only very wise and intelligent, and they know what is the causes of suffering and the problem, and what is the causes of happiness and lasting peace and happiness, but they do their best, spend all their efforts to try to show this to the and lead people on that. So therefore, Buddha is a one being, or Buddhas are one type of people who has the ability and who tries and does help people, not just a little bit, but to kind of to completely, give them like lasting peace and happiness. The one who can lead them to lasting happiness is Buddha. So therefore, worth making offerings, worth making any kind of help or assist, or even rejoicing, or making any kind of offerings, or whatever assistance we can. It's worthwhile, and it is very useful to do that. So therefore we should be doing this, but I didn't do that. No feasts were ever held through my donations. The second important thing is that if I helped people, if I did give things to people, or create situations for people to become happy, joyful, a little bit, for even if not for a long time, for some time, joyful or happy, or a little bit enjoy. And I could have done that with creating some kind of feasts or holidays, or those some kind of situations that I could that people have some good time, and that also I didn't do. Through my donations or through my efforts, I didn't do that. No works have I accomplished. No works have I accomplished for the teachings. So now, even if I have, I have no opportunity to make offerings to the Buddha or to really, assist the Buddhas at this time, because I don't see Buddhas. There is no Buddhas around here, so I could not have made offerings to the Buddhas, but at least I could have done something for his teachings, because Buddha is not there now. He's been kind of passed away for many 1,000 years, 2,000 years, more than that, but his teachings are still there, his guidance is still there. The methods that he gave us, the medicines that he recommended to us are still there. And so therefore, if I could help people to learn that method and train in that, or makes certain contributions so that people would be able to learn the Dharma and to practice that and to use this Dharma, then also it would be helpful, and it will help for long term. It's not just little bit, but because it will help them to transform themselves completely. I could have done that, but that also I didn't do. No works have I accomplished for the teachings. The wishes of the poor I left unsatisfied. Not only that I have not, created this kind of feasts and, lots of things for the people, but, there are people, poor people, who really need things, who are really desperately in need of, say, like food or shelter or, drinks or, some kind of protection and things like that, because they are, they are sick. They are life-threatening sicknesses, because they are, in the war situation or the famine situation, or in the natural disaster situation, and they have nothing, no wealth, no money, nothing, and in destitute, and I could have helped them a little bit, but that also I didn't do. And then 38, I have not served the frightened from their fear. Those people who are like, tortured and oppressed, and in the war situation, there are lots of people who are, kind of terrorized by people, and given all kind of, sufferings and pain and things like that, and they are living in fear without human kind of freedom and all the kind of human independence and freedom and things that are necessary for a kind of proper human being to enjoy. They don't have that, and they are always fear of losing their life and losing their everything and all kind of. And then I could have helped them a little bit, but I didn't do that also. Even if I couldn't do that directly, I could have even made some kind of contribution through donation or through some other ways. The wretched I have not consoled. There are lots of people who are heartbroken, who are very sad, who has kind of a hopeless feeling, very kind of physically or mentally, unwell and very sad or destitute, and I could a little bit console them, make them feel a little bit some kind of kindness, a little bit of love, a little bit of support, and that also I didn't do. So therefore, what have I done? What have I done that I can be proud of myself, and that I can say that this I did that was really useful, meaningful, and something that is, worth doing. So if I haven't done that, then my mother's pain, her womb's discomfort, these alone are my accomplishments. When a child is born, I'm sure everybody knows this, the mother has to carry the child for 9 months in her womb. And that's not a pleasant thing, it's not a joke, there's lots of problems for her health, problems, because you are carrying the whole, you can see, the mother's belly becomes like this, can hardly move, hardly sit, hardly get up, and then lots of, discomfort, lots of sickness and all kind of problems. And then, when you actually give birth, it's so painful, so painful, so painful, that it's very difficult to find something that you can say this is the example of the pain. Those who are not, mothers who are like men, for instance, they say can never imagine what kind of a pain they have when they give birth to a child. They say that when they give birth to a child, all the joints, all the bones, of your body get, out of proportion, and, except maybe the head bones. So therefore, it's so painful. And even if you do the cesarean, and therefore that kind of pain is not there, but then it has to heal, and it gives, it gives lots of pain afterwards, I know. So therefore, maybe only accomplishment that I have done as a human being is to give discomfort to my mother, and I'm sure I've given much more discomfort than just giving birth, because mother has to raise you, and to give all kind of it is not an easy thing to raise a child, and especially most of us are very difficult children. They will do what the mothers want us to do. They will always disobey and not even appreciate what the mothers have done. Many people even dislike their mother or hate their mother. They say bad things about their mother. How nasty it would be, because the mother is the one who has done so much to not only to give birth but to raise you. She raised you, maybe with the help of father or without the help of father sometimes, until you are an adult. and she didn't charge you a penny for that. And then you think that she's not good enough for you. What is that? So therefore, if I'm like that, then I must rethink and say that, that's not the way. As a human being, I should be doing something a little bit better than that. I should be living a life. I should do something that is of some use, some benefit, some help to somebody, or to myself also, to myself, to my, to my parents, to my brothers and sisters, to my family, to my relatives, to my friends, but to other people also, That's the reason, that I have such a, wonderful human life, so powerful human life, so intelligent human life, that I'm supposed to be the at the top of the, what can you say, the living beings on this earth, to the top. So I should just not waste this life. So therefore, when I have that understanding or way of thinking, then I have some kind of aspiration, I should do something. And you cannot say, I cannot do, because we can do if you really want to do. So therefore, then 39. My failure to aspire to Dharma now and in the past has brought me to my present dereliction, who therefore would spurn such aspiration. Why I'm like that? Why I've not done anything useful, not done anything that I can be really proud of myself? Because that's because, I, till now, and now also, in the past also, and in the present moment also, I didn't do anything good, I didn't do anything useful, because I didn't aspire to study and practice Dharma. My failure to aspire to Dharma, now and in the past, has brought me to my present dereliction. If I am not doing anything and I have no aspiration, I have no, done nothing, and are not kind of in a situation or in a kind of inspired to anything, that's because I didn't generate this aspiration of Dharma. You can call it Dharma, you can call it whatever, but this is not, this is not a Dharma. Most people think when you say Dharma, practice of Dharma or practice of Buddhism or practice of a religion, you think that they are doing it for some particular, section of the people, some institution or some, people with some certain ideologies or things like that. It's not that. Dharma is for the good of humanity, for the something that, that help me and help others. That's Dharma. You should not understand Dharma as, a particular religion, Buddhism. Actually, from Buddhist point of view, there is nothing called Buddhism. We never say Buddhism. we say practice Dharma, So therefore, and therefore, who therefore would spurn such aspiration? So we must have that aspiration. We must learn. We must, understand that how important that aspiration is.